use the exhausted so the old community. Still again, you are in the world, intersections, actually the world. From the outer world also, there is kind of not the world is not the black person, exactly perhaps this is the practice and is over then, what is over this practice. Now, we cannot take this. Everything is to be true that we are active world. What is the whole of the thought of unconsciously, the unprepared everybody was not perfect. Absolutely everything. What is the whole stuff of the children? And this for ourselves to be not tasty. Okay, now that same way, the first of the Mahabharata, the world presenting itself or appearing to be beautiful, to be enchanting, to be you are having happiness, that is perfect. You can never rest. You are recognizing this fact, knowing that the world of the Mahabharata is shooting the arrow, the Radhakrishna, Ramakrishna, or the delusion of the I should not get shot by it. This is instinct. This is the thing you have to commit. And then, with intellectual conditioning, practically, but no other exists. So not that way. No life has taken the things for granted. Each other will stay the same. The kingdom, the same form, the God of the Torah, and then we will be able to look at our mind from the world to that and this is lots of time. But when we became wise, we also will be. And when we come, we act the world of the we get a fixed product which is the ourselves, not worldliness. But what we put ourselves in the field. Because having some extra time in class, in the sight, in the mind. So the sight of the so the sight of our all these are there. Those thoughts only become those practitioners only become those involvements in into which we are doing from many other then those vasanas in their form. Again, those thoughts, desires, sankalpas, which is not at all difficult to understand. What thoughts are getting today, most of them are what the previous days. Loving that tomorrow will not, and also some of the past. We are here to observe vasanas, not to create yesterday's vasanas to today, and tomorrow clear aage sees banana. No. All that happens for an ignorant person. What is ignorance? Not knowing that the world of reality, the reality that it is, being superimposed by this unreal world, which appears to be real, which is going to guide us. Not having this knowledge, that will be wrong. One of the very good that goes back to the practice. Like us, that's what these days, every day, same example we are doing it. That is an addict. Who becomes restless to go into his addictions. Same way, we are all addicted to worldliness and sunshine. So much so that we feel we can't exist without it, but alone to break these shackles is the work of the Guru Shastra does, but it is so difficult for them unless we cooperate. See, yesterday that one word of Kausalya Mata, how fantastic. First word, when Vyasaji says, after she puts in front of Rama the request to teach the jnanam by which the moksha from bandhana happens. The word is Nirvedavadini. See, this is Upanishadic word, the Mundaka Upanishad. Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamaya. What is the Rakshana of Nirveda? Asti akrutaha prateda. For anything in this world of karma and karma phala, That which is eternal, immutable, changeless, birthless, deathless, experience cannot come. Then how that experience is gained? It is already within me. It has to be known. How to know it? Where is to be found? Where it is to be found? These are all the ones. Through the Shastra, convincingly, logically. Guru alone can teach us. That's why Tad Vijnanartham Sa Guru Meva Abhigacche. We have seen all that. To know it, to know only it, to the Guru only, we only have to go and keep on staying, listening, till that is experienced by us. This is the Jnanam, and we have to abide in it. So that's why in the old days, they were not that way taking for granted, staying in the world and getting influenced again and again. You know? Again and again, dal dal mein jana, in that quicksand, again washing the feet, again and going to the dust again. You know, they were intelligent, not fools like us. We only laugh at them. What Swamis, God Babas, सब छोड़कर जाने की क्या जरूरत है? यही रहो हमारे तरह, हम करो यही साधना. अरे भाई तुम क्या साधना कर रहे हो? Don't you know? What are you talking? Very open. Therefore, they keep away all the world from their sense organs. They keep away all worldly thoughts from their mind by being away. And so too near a serene, sacred atmosphere of, the river, the forest there, then making an ashram, making a small temple or the idol of the Lord, creating consciously, deliberately that atmosphere of throughout the day. Only the spiritual activities are done, not given chance, even a little to anything other. In this way, outside, inside, when they took all the precautions, cares consciously, then only the antakarana was withdrawn from its habits and vasanas and the pulling of the senses. Then only that antakarana, the buddhi, can be fully attentively focused on that which is beyond everything, that is seen, which is beyond all rupa, nama, ityadi. Then, in the heat of the contemplation only, all these grossness, delusions, ignorances, the dry twigs, etc., they get burned. And in that heat only, the bright, brilliant, resplendent, pure conscious self is revealed. And the beauty is what? When that is recognized, the wonderful thing is what? That alone is there. Nothing other than it. If anything is there, it is just expression of it, superimposition on it. Understood? Expression of it, superimposition on it. For example, if the idea of this space is understood, idea of this space, then where do we find space? Is it only when we lift our head and look at above? No. In between you and me, what is there? Also is space. Everywhere is space. What about the place where you are staying, I am staying? Little subtle here we have to become. Where I am staying, that I am calling as a body, in this also is space. Now, after discussing this, the thought becomes reverse here. Not that where I am staying, in there the space is there. Rather, in the space I am there. What do you mean by in the space I am there? Space alone is expressing as this Stula Sharira. Yet it is in totality, it's not disturbed. In its reality, it is not disturbed. Now, if this idea of the space is understood, okay, then even though we see the whole world of names, forms, still don't we comprehend or understand that space alone is there everywhere. In patches, in some places, on that space, these Rupa Nama Gunas are projected. Vision बदल जाता है. In the scientific language, once the atoms are discovered, it is understood the whole world is nothing but atomic. So the physicist says atomic, chemists say the chemical, and some say the electrical, some the electronic, some say energy. एक एक जगत के कारण को ऐसा देखकर सारा जगत में उसको देखते हैं. Same way, the one who realizes the same inside, for him everything is but conscious, blissful self. Even now it is. Even now when you are seeing the wave, it is water. But the dusty is on waveless, so water is not. Even nowadays everything is Shuddha Satchidananda. But our dusty is on the Namarupa, projected on it, therefore that substratum we are talking about. So that is how they used to stay in those ashramas and then in the heat of meditation, having burnt all these ignorances, delusions, they discovered the sun and then revealing in itself, they taught the same to the students, disciples who were used to come. So in our life also, we have to slowly, steadily, definitely understand the complete picture, everything about spirituality. Not as sadhana, but all that are engaged in doing the due. See, we may not be able to do the highest things, but there should not be a moment where something bare below is not there. The doing maybe the contemplation, the study, the inquiry, the listening, or preparing our paths. After that, keep on doing the higher things, greater things. Now, the higher thing we are doing now is study of Upanishads and all. But higher than this is not. Highest is our aim should be from Shravana to Manana, from Manana to Chintana, Nididhyasana. From there into the Dhyana we have to enter. Attempting at higher, when we can't achieve, little lower, we have to do it. Again, attempt for higher. If you can't do this. One day, that attempt start becoming successful. Like attempt of our being regular to class, how so many lives has become successful in this life that we are regularly listening. This is a basic thing, minimum. And for continuously receive the data, receive the information, receive the inspiration. नहीं है तो भटकते हैं. We are all pseudo philosophers, pseudo spiritual seekers. If there is not regularity or consistency, it's a cheating of ourselves. Because we are more worldly, yet claim to be because we are not regular, we are not informed at all about the truth, isn't it? Because we are not coming to class. Ultimately, claiming our spiritual is not in claiming, no, it is in being. So to be, first of all, we have to be regular. And we can't take it for granted that we have understood everything. So we don't need the class or we can study at home. No, how much more the highest level of understanding is valuable or reaching. Yet the Shravana should go. Only when the Guru Brahman is sacrificed, now the Shravana is enough. Brahman also is good, continue. गुरु के आदेश होने तक सुनते रहना. By the way, so in this way we have to help ourselves in its complete understanding, having known what is spirituality and molding ourselves in that truly joyfully enthusiastic. Remember, whatever the disturbances and inner outer used to come when we were in samsara, same type of things come here also. Did we leave or give up the samsara because of those problems those days? No. Here also, let those problems outer and inner come. We will not give up our consistency. Outer problems of obligations, urgencies, works, etc. Inner problems of the tamu and rajoguna basically. करते जाए रेमेडीज ढूंढते जाए अप्लाई करते जाए फॉर these problems they go away. We have to be relentless. We have to be consistently on the lookout for the sadhana, how to achieve it, all of that. ऐसा पर्सनैलिटी हमारा बनाना है. जैसा जो भी पर्सनैलिटी हमारा है वो हम नहीं बनाया knowing or unknowing, which is not conducive, not sufficiently conducive. Then make it more and more. Even to know this and even to will for this, desire for this also, a maturity is required. That also is outcome of regular Shravana only. While Shravana, while doing it so, when we look into the lives of the great Jignasus like the Nachiketas, Parikshits and all, then we get tempted, inspired. Just like when we see a bhogi, we get tempted there. So too when you see such yogis, we get inspired. Looking at them, taking them as an idols. No, idol worship is so important in life that only the idol inspires us and brings the creativity, brings all abilities from us in manifestation. Then only we can do, we can achieve. Now we are studying Aitareya Upanishad, a beautiful, deep topic. Slowly, our Shruti Mata is inducing into us the Viveka Vairagya aspect, so too the Manana Chintana about the truth. Every Upanishad's only purpose is this, whether presented in whatever the form. The idea of explaining to us whether the Saikshadevenu Lokanu Suja se lekar, the Srishti Vada, Bhagwan's entry into that, or the off late in the second chapter, the three births we are seeing, all of that is to awaken thinking in us and tell us what thought of doing or living leads to the bondage, what is to be done to get liberated. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बॉन्डेज को बॉन्डेज के रूप में इफ यू डोंट रिकॉग्नाइज इफ यू टेक इट एज फ्रीडम देन वी गेट बाउंड इन दैट ओनली so too when the liberation or the freedom is not recognized as freedom we delude it to be the bondage then we will never go for it and to break that biggest barrier is the toughest job like for the children and youth break the barrier that the pleasure giving entertainments are the cause of destruction and the tough looking regular studies are the only way for evolution to bring this knowledge to their notice. Isn't it? How tough it is for us and for him also to understand. We impose with our 20 years of experience on them, but they are 20 years younger than us. They just come. Therefore, उनको लगता है हमको जैसा लगता है कि ये पागल लोग पढ़ाई की जगह why are they getting in that entertainments? They also say what are these parents pagal not allowing us to entertain, eat, sleep and watch TV? Why are they forcing us to study or excel and all? उनको because their sthayi of the manabuddhi are like that. In our spiritual life, for spiritual seekers also, we always still tend to vote for the Maya and the worldliness. Spirituality, just like that, by the way, that is in the beginning. Slowly, slowly, with intellectual inquiry, understanding that all that is ephemeral, this alone is real, permanent, our time giving, effort putting, mind giving towards this should go on increasing. For that only every Upanishad, this Upanishad also, in that way it is teaching. है ना द रेतो रूपेण परिणति and it is being put in the womb of the women that is first janma only to indicate to us how worst and how awkward and how ugly would be our life in that time and growing in the fetus for those 8 9 months with all the outside terrible atmosphere around that should make us feel vairagi maybe for a you feel that in your own mind how it looks like when you are in a furnace like a house with all the dirtiest things around. Even for a minute you can't be. Imagine 9 months you are put there. Narak only. We have to think about it and feel that this is not I want, isn't it? Then comes the third one, the Tritiyan Janma, which we have to discuss today. Amount of that also is Vairagya. Then the Vamadeva's example is given as well as an inspirational last sloka, sixth one. Then in the last third chapter, the sadhana of contemplating on the self in very few words only is given because doing intensely is more important than the details. If doing intensely is learned by us, few details are enough for us to do that intense meditation and reach out. Let us see that. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Om Sarvashibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyah Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Visaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्य कृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं भव एव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोहमहाजलधिं भव शङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधि साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्री ऐतरेय उपनिषद आचार्येभ्यो नमः। श्री वेदव्यास महर्षये नमः। ऐतरेय महर्षये नमः। आद्य शंकर महर्षये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दव संस्कृतेः शास्त्राणां भक्तियोगवेदान्तादि साधनानां प्रक्रियाणां गुरुशिष्य भक्त भगवत परंपरायाः पुनरुत्थान जागरण समस्त विश्वव्याप्ति द्वारा विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति द्वारा विश्व शांति कल्याण एकता पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थम् अस्मिन् धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये निश्चित कंकणबद्ध अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां साधकानां भक्तानां जिज्ञासुनां सेवकानां संस्थापकानाम् आचार्याणां गुरूणां संस्थानां श्रेयविलासिनां च पूर्णायुरारोग्य ऐश्वर्य क्षेमस्थैर्य धैर्य वीर्यादि समस्त शक्ति संपदा सानुकूलता साधनानां प्राप्ति द्वारा बाह्य अभ्यंतर समस्त शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन निवारण द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्य दिग्विजयार्थम ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेय आरण्यकांतर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्य शंकर भाष्य से वेद अध्ययन वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम मनस्तापतमशान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभाभाति तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्। ओम अथ श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषत् शांति मंत्रः। ओम वांग मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य महाणीस्तश्रुतं मे मा प्रहसीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्ददामृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवत्ववतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Every thought of this Shanti mantra is worthy of deeply contemplating, praying every day. One of the important thoughts is Anena adhitena ahoratran sandadhami. Only in this adhyana and manana chintana of the truth as indicated with the Upanishad, on that whole day I spend day and night only in the chintana of that. Anena adhitena. By this adhyana of the Upanishad, ahoratran sandadhami. Day and night I will do the anusandhana. You know what we saw the introduction, that we have to keep on involving in that only throughout the day. That is required, not giving any chance. As we become more and more deeper and serious in sadhana, so too when our life is oozing, we are making day by day old. एक पक्का गारंटीज दे कि 10 साल के बाद इतनी एनर्जी नहीं रहेगी. When we know, use those 10 years, 8 years intensely. Anena aditena ahoratran sandadami. Aha means day. Ratra means night. Anusandadami means I'll tune myself to Anena aditena in the study of the Shastra and the theme. That's the meaning. Om atha dvitiyodhyayah. You have to do the chanting of the dvitiyodhyayah. ओम पुरुषे हवायमादितो गर्भो भवति यदेतद्रेतः तदेतत् सर्वेभ्यः अंगेभ्यः तेजः सम्भूतम् आत्मनि इव आत्मानं बिभर्ति तत् यदा प्रियां सिञ्चति अत एनत् जनयति तत् अस्य प्रथमं जन्म तत् स्त्रिया आत्मबोधं गच्छति यथा स्वम् अंगं तथा तस्मात् एनां न हिनस्ति सा अस्य एतम् आत्मानम् अत्र गतं भावयति सा भावयित्री भावयितव्या भवति तं स्त्री गर्भं बिभर्ति सः अग्रे एव कुमारं जन्मनः अग्रे अधिभावयति स यत् कुमारं जन्मनः अग्रे अधिभावयति आत्मानम् एव तद्भावयति येषां लोकानां सन्तत्या एवं सन्तता हि इमे लोकाः तत् अस्य द्वितीयं जन्म सः अस्य अयम् आत्मा पुण्येभ्यः कर्मभ्यः प्रतिधीयते अत अस्य अयम् इतरः आत्मा कृतकृत्यो वयोगतः प्रएति सः इतः प्रयन् एव पुनः जायते तद् अस्य तृतीयं जन्म तद् उक्तं ऋषिणा गर्भेनो सन् अन्वेषाम् अवेदम् अहं देवानां जनिमानि विश्वा शतं मा पुर आयसीः अरक्षन् अधः श्येनः जवस निरदीयम् इति गर्भे एव एतत् शयानः वामदेव एवम् उवाच सः एवं विद्वान् अस्मात् शरीरभेदात् ऊर्ध्वम् उत्क्रम्य अमुष्मिन् स्वर्गे लोके सर्वान् कामान् आप्त्वा अमृतः समभवत् समभवत् ओम शांति शांति शांति. Friends, we are in that second chapter, very important crucial topics discussion going on. So the prathama janma reto rupena sinchanam into the wife, and that retaha, what it is, how it has come into that jiva, how he enters, all of that we have to continuously contemplate. Then after that sinchanam, how the divine prakriti helped, did its own part in growing that womb. How the father also bhavayita he became. Mother also bhavayita, she is bhavayita and also bhavayitri. Bhavayitavya and bhavayitri. All of that we have to just remember. So after that is done, when the right time comes, agreva kumaram janmana agre adhibhavayati. All the meaning of that is, the women when pregnant. Up to 8 months, in the first 3 months, they are very careful because oh, tikna hai andar. From the third month to eighth month, they are again careful but not so conscious, convinced, so worried and all. Eighth month comes again because just it's only 1 month. That is the meaning of agreva kumaram, again agre, then adhibhavayati. Adi. Agre means that first 3 months and then up to the eighth month. Again, next agre is 1 month before the delivery. Those crucial days, whatever it is. Then again, adi means immediately after the birth. Bhavayat. That is the very sensitive point that is indicated in this process of creating that child. All the three periods, one has to be very, very careful. I know, right? Everywhere. When a house is to be made, the idea of making a house, collecting all the material, you have to be adhibhavanam. You have to do the bhavanam of it. Then at the time of construction, how we have to be careful? Isn't it at every place? After that, once the finishing is done, finishing touches is done, handed it over, then those initial few days also, till everything becomes a routine, should we not be careful? Is the plumbing system okay? It is water pipe system okay? Are the electrical fittings proper? Is this furnishing is okay? Don't we check for 1 month, 2 months? And isn't it? It's not when you want to buy a gadi. So the thought of buying gadi is one thing. Going to the showroom and really paying and getting delivered is second. Then for first 1 month, are we not so careful? 1 or 2 months. About its taking out and properly driving en route. When you bring it back, immediately cleaning it and again putting it under the cover. That is called as bhavana, which is required in this world, in everything. When you maintain a relation with someone, any of that, वाइफ और हस्बैंड, पहले भावनम होता है, आई नीड ए फ्रेंड वाला, then a creating friend by all creative process of len then. Once a friend is created, till fully established, during the gestation period of doubting, are we not very careful? Till we come to know that yeah, our दोनों के दिल मिल गए हैं, now we are for the long time can be together. Unless something very drastic happens, isn't it? So to in cooking, you know, the first bhavana means what to cook and required things brought. Then real cooking time, how careful one has to be. Then toward the end also, isn't it? Towards the end means जो मसाला सारे डालनी है या सिम में रखनी है या मैक्सिमम लगाओगे तो जल जाएगा वो, and not enough from that whatever the thing called as उसको फिर पतीले में बदलना, गार्निश करना, putting on the dining table, everything requires bhavanam there. Anywhere that can slip out of the hands. हमने टाइम हुआ है वो, पूरा चाय बना ली, गिलास में डाल रहे थे, हाथ से फिसल गए. हाँ होता है. Here, that subtle things are indicated. This Upanishad is very indicative. Unless you pause there, go deep, you will not catch the deeper implications. Superficial meanings are very obvious because they are talking about only what happens in samsara. Everybody knows, you know it more than me, isn't it? But yet, indicative it is. Those indicated subtleties you have to catch. सा भावयति, सा भावयति, भावयितव्या भवति, भर्त्रा. See, they are the meanings. Then this again indicates, as it is given in Kathopanishad, same cares when one takes at the time of samsara, of living with wife or husband and creating children, same conscious care we have to take when the Guru also puts the seed of the Tattva Jnana or Tattva Samavakya in us, in our heart. As at the time of Garbha, the bhavanam is done and developed, and till that child becomes worthy of throwing out or delivered, he is taken care. At the time of that total maturity, how the gases inside, the delivery gases, push him outside. Same way, the thought spiritual given by the Guru, we have to nurture and nourish it in the womb of our heart. Protect it. Very subtle it is. See to it that it matures to such an extent that our intellectual comprehension is pakka ho gaya, that nothing other than Brahman is real, Brahman alone is reality. And then on the meditational seat also, we have reached to that very sublime level of, at our own will, we are able to transcend the five koshas. But the push from the Guru, the pull from the God has to happen. So we are praying for that, having reached by our efforts wherever we can reach. There's a meaning of time of delivery. And when the grace happens, delivery happens. So too, when the grace happens, we just get delivered out of this womb of ignorance and samsara into the vast fields of infinite experience of the self, experience of infinite self. So that's how very, very indicative it is. We should have that subtlety to catch. Now he is delivered. हो गया, second janma हो गया. Now in that second janma, how it leads to the third janma. Third janma, here it is mentioned as of the father in the shloka, only to indicate both father and son are same, and the son himself is going to become father, and at that time he also will leave this world for his third janma. That will be told. But more important than that is some very crucial things as the relation between the father and child, in which the responsibilities, both of them, the responsibility of the father to educate the son, having taught from the father, practicing them till he becomes father and passes on to his own son, that silsila is taught here. That means what? Both for dharmic vyavahara and also for the adhyatmic sadhana, the father should become an example and inspiration. The ideal way is father himself is spiritual guru also. In the examples of Shvetaketu, the example of Bhruguhu, Varuni. In so many examples we see. That's how the father gives the Yagnopavita Kala, that Gayatri Mantra Upadesh. Teaches him how to do. When that child, by doing so, grows at the mature time, then the higher Vidyas, father only gives. Isn't it? Father alone is the Guru, first of all. Wherever he can't do, then the Gurukula is there. There it is said, then Guru himself is the father there. And the Guru. Now we have to study this mantra number 4 very, very exhaustively with Bhashyam. Let it take some time. Let us go into all details. Maximum. जितना हमारा दिमाग चलेगा, at least 0.01% at least we can do. 100% we may not be able to. Because it's Rishi Prokta Upanishad. Only the head and heart of the Rishi, those who have, they will be able to comprehend it 100%. We are a worldly people with all the time our mind occupied with the worldly things and beings, the knowledges, the logics, the examples, which these are only worldly. To such as the sublime of the Upanishad completely may not be understood. But it now is okay. Chant the fourth mantra. So saha asya ayam atma punyebhyah pratidhiyate atha asya ayam itaraha atma कृतकृत्यः वयोगतः प्रएति स इतः प्रयन् एव पुनः जायते तद् अस्य तृतीयं जन्म. Before that, in the earlier Bhashya, having explained the Dvitiyam Janma, remember that conclusion. It said, Evam putra utpadanadi karma avichedena eva santataha pravanda rupena vartate iti yasmad ime lokaha tasmat tad avichedaya tad kartavyam. Only through the creation process, the generations, the human life will continue. For the sake of that, the creation has to be done of the child by mother and father. But this is not important. The important is only for the continuation of progeny, it is Namokshaya. By saying it Namokshaya, in bracket it is already said without saying that in another way, all this process is only the bandhanam. That we have to realize. ये सब संसार का या जीवों के उत्पत्ति का संतति का विच्छेद को नहीं होने देने के लिए all it is said in that the theme of the Upanishad called moksha is nowhere there. Therefore, don't consider having children being in samsara as moksha. It is the biggest terrible suffering and bondage. That's how the Janma 1, Janma 2 we saw. Now, how the third Janma happens, it is said. Very, very interesting. Huh? Many of things are known to us, but put it in order properly. कहते हैं, I am explaining now the fourth mantra from the mantra. Then we go into Bhashya Adhenam. Ki Saha. Saha means uh, mm, mm, mm. Saha Asya Ayam Atma. Asya means of the father. Saha Ayam Atma, this born child. Okay, of that father, this born child. Asya means of this father. Saha Atma, that child who is born, which is second janam mein. Saha Atma Asya, of this father, this child. Punyebhya pratidhiyate. He will be trained and appointed for the punya karmas. This is the indicated way of saying by Shruti. What it means in the Bhashya, it is explained. We will see. Same thing. What it is, all what father was doing, he will now convey everything to the son. All of that should be punya. Therefore, ideally, the word used is punya. So, whatever he was doing, the father, to all of that, he will make the son pratinidhi. Pratidhiyate or pratinidhiyate. He will train all of that, which he learned from his father. So, father, son, Janma is going on. Father, son, the Punyadi karma doing, teaching is going on. And again, from father to son only, the spirituality also should go on. This is possible only in human beings. We have to make it. So first line is understood. Saha Atma, Asya means of this father, the Saha Atma, that born child, Punyebhya Pratidhiyate. He is endowed with the responsibilities of doing all what father was doing, which is indicated here by one word, Punyebhya. So पुण्यादि कर्म पिताजी से सीख कर ये पुत्र करने लगता है. This is about putra, what is doing now. Then, what is happening to the father at that time? Ata asya ayam itaraha atma. Now, the itara atma is the earlier original one, that is father now. He has become itara because the son has become important now. As regard the worldly things are happening, because he is the pratidhiyate, he was established in punya, in doing the daily routine, maintaining the house, etc. etc. What happening to this itara atma, that is the father, ki first krutakrityaha, second vayogataha, third praiti. First he discovers the krutakrityata in him by giving whatever he was doing and knowing to the child, ensuring that the child is established in it proper. पूरा चाबी दे दिया बेटे को. That is the meaning of कृतकृत्य. Then while it is being done, vayogatah bhavati, the time passes, it becomes slowly, vardhakya, the old age comes. Then, as it is inevitable in everyone's case, praiti, he will leave this body and goes. Who? The father. Saha, that father who left this world, itaha prayan eva, having gone from this body, prayan eva, punah jayate, immediately will get birth again. As I told you, unless very preta pishacha योनि में रहने वाले दुष्कर्म जिसने किया, only they will be hanged some places somewhere. He will suffer for hunger, thirst, everything. But 99.999% in human life, decent life, the one who lives without much delay, the next sharira is given. That is why it is said here, Sahitham prayan eva punarjayate. That punarjanma of this father, having left this one, tad asya trutiyam janma. That is called his third life. Obviously, the question, when the first and second janmas are talked about, the child as a retaha and also as a coming out of the mother, third also should be spoken about him. How come of the father the janma is told punarjanma and it is called as third? So that's a very simple question and obvious question, and simple answer is that is what we are telling. What is said in all Shastras, father and son are not two. So too, it's only hinting to check your intellect, whether you'll be able to catch or not. Key, that son himself will become father today, tomorrow, and he will teach and he will leave the body. No? He will enter into the other one. चलो, कहा है पिता के लिए, तुम उसको अप्लाई करो पुत्र के लिए. बात तो वही है. पिता पुत्र are not two. Just to show that they are one, this way of saying is said. But the thing to be understood is, he only having gone through all the Punya Karma done, when he grows, again he gives everything to his son, Krutakriti ho jayega, he will become Vayovruddha, he will praiti, he will get a Janma, that will be third. अब एक ही फ्रेम में बताने के लिए कि यहाँ पिता का पुनर्जन्म को तीसरा जन्म बताया, so that it is in one frame. Otherwise, you have to go into the other frame, where the other frame, the child has to grow and he has to get another child. Then he teaches him. Then he becomes old. तो वही तो बता रहे हैं अभी. This father who was a child only, he grew now. He got a son. When the son became elder, he taught him everything. Now his time of departure came. He is leaving and he enters into the other body. That is third janma. So that will be explained to us. Now the shloka is understood. Let us through the Bhashya study the same, become more clear. Now देखो, repeatedly when we are discussing Are you not becoming clear in our understanding of the Upanishad? First Upanishad ko samajhna. Then its relevance, its value, its validity, its importance, its urgency. All of them, when they start clicking to us, then the Upanishadic way of life we live and evolve ourselves continuously and reach out to the truth without much of the delay. ये है मजेदार बात. Okay. Now, asya pituhu of these childs, asya means pituhu of this father. Saha ayam putraha. This child who is on Atma, because the child is the Atma of the father only. What happens to the child? Punyebhyah. With the punyas. Which punyas? Shastroktebyah karmabhyah. Here punya means all the shastrokta karmas. Basically, there are three karmas shastrokta. One is the varnashrama dharma shastrokta. Second is yajnayaga upasadi shastrokta upasana. Third is the tattva jignasa ropi shastrokta karma. That is going to Guru, listening from him, Vedanta itself, the last one, third one, Vedanta kehte hain usko. So these are the Shastroktebhyah Karmabhyah. They are called means Punyebhyah. Okay. Karma Nishpadanartham means for executing the karmas continuously. Pratidhiyate. He is being appointed. What is the meaning of Pratidhiyate? Pituhu sthane. In the place of the Pita, he will be made to sit there to do all the karma. Karma Nishpadana means for executing all the karmas. He will be Pratidhiyate, he will be enthroned or established in the place where the father was. है ना? ऐसा ही होता था पहले. मुखिया का पुत्र मुखिया और बाकी प्रोफेशनल्स के पुत्र वो काम करते थे. राजा का पुत्र राजा बनता था, मंत्री का पुत्र मंत्री, है ना? सैन्याध्यक्ष का पुत्र सैन्य. एंड ऑल सोल्जर्स देयर चिल्ड्रन बिकम सोल्जर्स. Except some exceptions, it used to happen. So again I am saying it, asya pituhu saha ayam putra atma, of this father, that child who is got now second birth and came out. Punyebhyah is a word in the mantra. Punyebhyah means Shastroktebhyah Karmabhyah. With all the karmas as mentioned by Shastra. Father should never say anything, मैं कह रहा हूँ इसलिए करो. He should tell everything to a child that because we are doing it according to Shastra from every generation, beta तुमको भी करना है. So that the son also, without adding any nonsense from his side, will pass it on to his son when he grows. But what it is? Shastroktebhyah karmabhyah. They are all punya karma. Why? Punatiti. Exactly as per Shastra we do. Whether it is Varnashrama, whether it is Yajna Upasana, whether it is Vedantika, it will yield positive result. It will help in evolution only, not devolution. Any karma, Shastra Viruddha will destroy us. Everything, no? The medicine. It's a Shastra. Shastrokta Vidhanena, medicine taken, help. If opposite of it we do, we destroy ourselves. Everything, so no? There is a astro science. According to the astro science, if you send the aircraft or spacecraft in the space, it will go unobstructed. But somewhere Shastrokta Vidhana not followed. At the time of launching only, it gets burst and burnt. See that Japan, what happened 2 months back. वहीं फट गया वो पूरा सैटेलाइट. ऊपर गया ही नहीं वो. Because somewhere went wrong according to शास्त्र नहीं था, opposite था, against था. So I am trying to explain the meaning of the word Punyebhyah given by Shankara Bhagavan, Shastroktebhyah Karmabhyah. Why he gave the meaning Shastroktebhyah Karmabhyah to the word Punyebhyah? Because only the Shastrokta karma is Punya, no other karma. Because Punati means it purifies, it evolves us. And in the Shastrokta karma, all the three. Moksha giving Vedanta karma, Uttamaloka giving Yajna Upasana karma, and this world to be safe and secured, the Varnashrama dharma karma. See how clear our Upanishads and Bhashyas, when we again and again study, and while doing so, preparing our mind, intellect with their purity. इतना स्पष्ट सब दिखता है हमको. As much it is clear in understanding, so much it will be clear when we start doing actually sadhanas. To the extent the sadhanas are done very clearly, the experiences also start coming equally clearly. There's no ambiguity at all. Ambiguity, confusion are in our non-efforts, in our insincerities, in our, what do you say, doesn't want to grow spiritually enough if the worldly things come to us. That immaturity when we are. Doesn't matter I may study or not, get job or not. Right now I'm enjoying my TV, my cell phone, my cricket, my friends. You to think like that. So too you and I, samsaris, think like that. Enough it is to have wife or husband, children and grandchildren and house and all. No need to worry about spirituality. We are like the children and youth only. From that, when we come out and apply sincerely, we will see the clarity in the Shastra. Okay, punyebhyaha means shastrebhyaha karmabhyaha karma nishpadanartha, because we cannot be without doing karma, due karma. Therefore निरंतर कर्म चलता ही रहना चाहिए. उस कारण से प्रतिधीयते, he is being established, he is being given that seat to sit, the son. That's what it says. Pituh sthane, in the place of Pita, he is made to sit. And what he is made, why he is made to sit there in the place of father? Is it to sleep? See that managers of the hotel, when they grow, when they call the son and उसको बिठा के ऐसा देखना सबको नजर भी रखना, whether they are working or not, and be careful of the taking amount. देख लो 500 दे रहा है कि 100 दे रहा है, लोग 100 दे के 500 कहेंगे, then you have no proof, they'll be always fighting. So everything he teaches, and the child through practice he learns also. Everywhere it is like that. So here, that is what is said here. Ki pitustane means what? Pitra yat kartavyam tat karanaya. Whatever the father was doing, exactly the son must do same thing. For that sake, pratinidhiyate ityartha. He is established or he is throned or he is kept there. He is given that appointment or the seat. Isn't it? With that, all the three things are happening. The world is also continuing, and the child also is getting the training and growing. Father also can go for the next stage because he has accomplished what he has to do. तीनों काम होते हैं उसमें. So whatever father was doing, for him to do that, he is made to sit in that seat. समझ में आ गया? तत्करणाय. पिता यत् कर्तव्यम तत्करणाय प्रतिनिधीयते इत्यर्थः. So what it is to be learned by us means what? Every parent should not only himself excel in the social value of life, in the personal management, in the family management, in the professional management. Not only he should master, but he should teach it to their children. And spirituality also. And such an important, crucial thing. Why we are ignorant about it, careless about it, why we don't value that, we don't know. It is only the fears and attachments to the children. Fears is they themselves have not lived a noble life. इसलिए दम होकर नहीं होता बच्चों को पढ़ाने का. Same way, there is an attachment. In that attachment, what happens? The pleasures only of the children are seen, not the child's real growth. Because of these two reasons, the parents are failing to communicate to the children all these aspects: the social responsibilities, the individual managements, the family management, the business management, finally, the spiritual. We have to do that. Yeah. Now a quotation is given. Ki tathacha samprati vidyayam vajasneyake. In that Vajasneyaka Upanishad Varadanyaka Samprati Vidya. Samprati means Samyak Pratipadanam. Very well, properly, duly, the father is giving the responsibility to the child. Child is taking from him. That's called Samprati Vidya. In that it is said, what it is said? Pitra Anushishtaha. By father, the child is taught. Having taught, he is repeating it. What is he repeating? Aham Brahma, Aham Yajnaha, Aham Brahma, Aham Yajnaha, etc. The mantra is there. Aham Brahma, Aham Yajnaha. Actually, क्या होता है ना? As the father has grown, then the symptoms he understands. that every of the parts of the body are giving away, and the time of death is coming. There he is 1 day or 2 or 5 days. He calls the child, puts him on his lap or bagal mein bitakar. One by one thing, he educates him. It takes depending on the father's position. है ना, 10-15 दिन कभी लगते भी हैं. First, if he is more rich person, कि these are the bank and accounts we have, these are all the lands we possess, these are the houses we have, these are the vehicles we have, these are the different establishments of company, factories हम है, इतने वर्कर, ये काम होता है, all of that. So to our family members, relatives, cousins, uncles, which are familiar only, but again finishing touches. More than these two, will belong to this parampara. सब बता चुके हैं बच्चों को, but final touch. So as this parampara of this family, these are the upasanas we have to do. These are the yajnas we have to do. These are the dana dharma we have to do. These are the temple management or taking care of the brahmanas we have to do. You know, these are all the traditional things regularly we should do. This is a Vedic adhyayana we have to. All of that, the father, whatever traditionally happening, he teaches. And finally, none of these are our goal. Our goal is Paramatma, the moksha. Father should take child into confidence and teach all. नहीं तो कौन पढ़ाएगा? अब बच्चा बोलेगा मेरे बाप ने नहीं पढ़ाया. Who are you to teach me? Anybody comes to teach. The system of father son in a human life is made by the Paramatma only for this thing. So in that Samprati Vidya in the Vajasaneka, an example is given here. That when father taught him, child caught it. Taught by father. An example of that is one word is used here. Ki aham brahma, aham yajna. Aham brahma, aham yajna means what? The father was telling, beta, मैं वेद को रेगुलर पढ़ता हूँ. Brahma here means Veda. Yajna means the Vedokta yajnas and upasanas. And all other things. Sample में दो बताया. So I always studied Veda. So I am telling you also study. So child started studying. The child or the son started to study the Veda is called as Aham Brahma. Means मैं वेद हूँ. So to Aham Yajna means Aham Brahmasya Brahmana Adhenam Karomi. You can do the Adhyahara means adding of the other sentences or the words to make the sentence complete. You all know the Vedas, Upanishads talk in a mystical language with so many fill up the blanks. कभी कर्ता को छोड़ते हैं, कभी कर्म को छोड़ते हैं, कभी क्रिया को छोड़ते हैं. You have to add it and make the sentence complete. Isn't it like father also sometimes or the boss? He will say something. इशारा ही करेगा. But the son or the subordinate should understand the meaning behind. Shruti Mata also teaches like that. So here Aham Brahma means Aham Brahma, this much I study that the Veda becomes one with me. That is the meaning of Aham Brahma. Like you all have become satsang now. Because satsang में regular आके खुद ही सत्संग बन गए. ऐसा एक हो गए सत्संग से सुबह शाम का. So like that, Aham Brahma means I am Veda. So too, Aham Yajna means what? Hey child, I am doing Yajna because of that only the Devata's blessings. Therefore, we are properly living our life, etc. The same thing I am teaching. Did you learn? Learned. Are you practicing? Practice. So here also, Aham Yajna, from the father I listen. Yajna, from the father I learn. Yajna, inspired by father I practice it till it becomes one with me. Therefore, Aham Yajna Asmi. It's a bhavana. You know, like some people play cricket sports. It becomes Atma to them. As if they have no other thing in life. Some do business. It becomes Atma to them. Some they are in the film field. पूरा 70-80 साल वो उसी में है. आत्मा हो जाता है उनका. तो यहाँ भी studying the Veda, living life of Yajna Upasana according to the Veda should become our Atma. To indicate that Aham word is used here. Otherwise, how can I become Veda? How can I become Yajna? I am the Veda अध्ययन करने वाला और यज्ञ करने वाला हूँ. But do it so much that you become one with it. So father is teaching like that. Don't say aham from father learning the Veda. Say कि मैं खुद ही वेद बन गया हूँ, इतना मैं सीखूंगा. बेटा ऐसा सीखो कि तुम और वेद से फर्क नहीं होना चाहिए वेद के बीच. तो ऐसा यज्ञ करो, तुम और यज्ञ के बीच में डिफरेंस नहीं होना. मतलब as much you remember yourself, so much you remember the Veda and Yajna. As much you take care of yourself, so much you take care of the Veda and Yajna. That is the meaning of aham there. So aham Brahma, aham Yajna is the repetition the child is doing, like in the Katha Upanishad. The Yamaraj, when he teaches Yajna and all, Nachiketa understands and he replies. He remembers and replies. Do you remember that story? Like this. So in this Vajasnayaka Varadharanyaka Upanishad, this example is given to say what is said here in this Aitareya Upanishad, that the father, once that the child is born, then to the child as he grows, all responsibilities are given. And whatever the father was doing, the child has to do. So further, this example, Pita teaches the child learnt, what he learnt, he says, what have you learnt? Aham Brahma, Aham Yajna. Clear? I have become one with Brahma and Yajna. So much the father has to ensure that the child is fully established in the Vedic understanding and Vedic way of living of Yajna and Upasana. Pakka. Like a driver has to teach the learner the driving so perfectly as he knows. So to a swimmer should teach the swimming learning person swimming so perfectly. Like Drona tried to teach to Pandavas, Kauravas, whatever the Vidya he has got. Same way father should completely teach thoroughly to the child. कुछ भी कसर नहीं छोड़ना है. Ensure that he is पक्का in every aspect. Other child will say पापा ने ये नहीं कहा या और कुछ करेगा वो. That should not be given a chance. जो नहीं करना वो भी सिखाना है नहीं करने को, जो करना है वो भी सिखाने करने को. That all is hinted here. That is the meaning of real fatherhood. Otherwise, every animal will give birth to the child. You know, to become parent is easy because you just pay the rent and you are creating the children. But to become mother and father is essential. Okay, so understood? Asya pituhu saha ayam putraha atma पुण्येभ्यः शास्त्रोक्तेभ्यः कर्मभ्यः कर्म निष्पादनार्थं प्रतिधीयते पितुः स्थाने पित्रा यत् कर्तव्यं तत् करणाय प्रतिनिधीयते इति अर्थः. तथा च संप्रति विद्यायां वाजसनेयके पित्रा अनुशिष्टः अहं ब्रह्म अहं यज्ञः इत्यादि प्रतिपद्यते इति. So after that 1-2 months of training, father keeps on asking him, did you do that? Done. Did you do that? Done. Pehle, he used to take him and show. Thereafter, he used to give an order. Thereafter, he will neither show nor give order. He will only ask a question. Later on, he will not ask questions. Son only will come and report. After that, even report करने की जरूरत नहीं है, because father knows the son is fully established in doing all those which he was doing. अब पूछने की जरूरत नहीं. बोलते भी नहीं बेटा. Do you know that in your own families that happens? Not at all new. In an ideal way of family where father and son don't live like an enemies. 90% तो शत्रु होते हैं. Mother and daughter are शत्रु, father and son are शत्रु. ज़्यादातर. For ego, that's nowadays because ego and all. प्यार भी रहता है पीछे, but that is suppressed by the anger and all. If that nonsense is not there, then you can see even today. So first he introduces to child, beta now I have to retire, you have to take over. To get convince a child takes time. Thereafter, he takes him to the field, starts showing. At the time, child is seeing only, learning, he is not doing. Slowly, he makes him do. Thereafter, he sends him to go and do. Then he takes the report. Then after, son only will say, Papa, all these things are done today. Well done. कहते अब बताओ भी मत मेरे को. Why do you need to tell me? No, you go on doing. Anywhere, anytime, any important is required, that time you consult. This is how a grahastha at the age of 50, having handed over everything to the children, they have to become vanaprasthi. Seeking the tapasya, through tapasya, every purity, then enter into sannyasa for pursuing only the truth. देखो इस मार्ग में इस तरह के एक्सप्लेनेशन में जीवन में व्हाट इज द शॉर्ट कमिंग, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम, व्हाट इज नॉन अंडरस्टैंडेबल, व्हाट इज रॉन्ग इन इट. Nothing is perfect, but we are ignorant, we are arrogant, we don't want to listen. And do you think we are living life with wisdom? No. About what we are living, not carrying the Shastra. Also very vague, very confusing. What we do, we don't know. कब सोते कब उठते क्या खाते कुछ भी नहीं है discipline. Except some people who live the life of army, वहाँ थोड़ा discipline होता है, नहीं तो डंडा लगता है. Other than that, and some people like civil services, जिन्होंने perfect किया अपने आप को. Other than that, the general strata, they are so erratic about their schedule, their involvement. ना कोई खाने का, सोने का, पीने का, आने का, जाने का कोई ठिकाना सिस्टम ही नहीं होता. So neither studying Shastra and living according to it, nor themselves are disciplined. Just doing something and dying one day. What is the use of the intellect given then? If it is not used to understand and get inspired to know the better things and do the better things. We have to think. Now, having done this way, he has given the work to the son. Atha anantaram, atha means anantaram. In the sloka, atha asya ayam idara atma, all of that. Atha means anantaram, means putre niveshya, atmanaha bharasya. Having put all his bhara of doing all the works on the putra. Putra se itara ayam yaha pitra. This somebody other than the putra, this father. By that father, atma krutakrityaha. When he gives all the work to the son by training him, he feels krutakrityata. Krutakrityaha kartavyat runatrayat vimuktaha. He is now freed from the three runas that father is. Then kruta kartavyaha ityartaha. What is to be done? He has done. Then vayogataha gatavayaha jirnaha san praitim riyate. As the age grows, he becomes old, and because of that, one day he dies. Then after the death, he is born in new place. It is called as third janma. When we are talking about the child, how the father's new birth is called as third janma, that question is asked. We have already answered it. So that's how this fourth mantra. Then comes the fifth one of the going through the remembrance of all of that, then recognizing such a worst way of life lived in all these three janmas, then the vairagya, with that vairagya, pursuing only the absolute truth or reality, realizing. This is what will be explained to us in the next two shlokas with the same slowness and speed and clarity we try to study. Om, 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 Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramarshibhyo Parabrahmane Namaha Om Shruti Matre Namaha Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Every Upanishad, we are lucky to go through so many Upanishads to have the taste of every one of them. मेरे को तो रियली जन्म